Hey y'all, how you doing? This is True Zen. Uh yeah. This is one of the next videos I was trying to make from that time ago. I made an update video a while back. If y'all didn't see that, check that out. It's gonna be linked in the description below, or probably gonna be up next after this. But yeah, I was just updating you guys where I was at. I haven't uploaded in like 4 months or so. So I was just like, yo, what's up? This is where I've been, this is what I've been up to. So, check that out if y'all haven't already. But in this video, I want to just talk about what comes to mind. And, I want to start off with talking about what is a mind. Is it consciousness? Is it our brain? Is it something that, we can't see, but we can think? Because one of my biggest questions is like, what is the mind? I know we have a brain and it's muscle, but what allows us to see, and we can't see our mind? We can, as much as we can get told, what's going on in our own head, no one else can see inside our own head. Like we can see, but I don't believe that it's just from flesh bound together. There has to be something else connected into us to create the mind, and how we can think, well, it could make sense as well, because if our brain and muscles have atoms and all these, things, and it's supposed to be the same things that are out in space, it would make sense that, it creates a mind, and we're able to speak, and our body's able to do things crazy enough, if that makes sense, So I also believe that the mind can be what the soul is, because our mind is always running, and we do sleep. We do go to sleep, and we close our eyes, but our mind, we still dream. We still have thoughts while we're asleep. So, the brain is probably so powerful, and there's probably something so spiritual or not of this earth that we have inside of us that creates the mind and consciousness and creates that cycle of thinking and thought. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about, things that come to mind, because as I'm speaking about this, I'm using my mind to speak, and my body, my mind and my brain is allowing my body to make these noises out of me that are speech, that I'm being able to talk to you and talk about these things. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is ideas and where ideas come from. I have a theory that ideas are always circulated around. Nothing is really new under the sun. So ideas are always circulated around. Someone has thought of something that you thought of before, and that's just the reality of it, because so much of us are here, and we're all made similarly. A human is a human, no matter what color they are, no matter what else. A human is a human at the basis, and we have ideas, we have thoughts are another thing as well. Ideas and thoughts are synonymous. They're about the same thing. They're in our mind, they're in our consciousness that we can think about, and we think about those thoughts, and thoughts come in many different ways. Another thing I also wanted to talk about is how free thinking we are. We have a lot of free thinking, but a lot of things get inserted into us, if that makes sense. We're a lot of the times programmed, not under our own control, but it does happen. Or sometimes we have a random thought that's just out of nowhere, where it could be some type of spiritual attack, or it could just be, our mind is jumping so many different planes that it allows us to have that thought process, that random thought, that random idea that just pops up out of nowhere. But it's hard to cycle everything into our head, because we also our memory isn't the best as well. So we have so many thoughts, but if we don't put those thoughts somewhere, where are they going to go? They're just going to keep cycling through. They'll jump to you or jump to someone else. Someone else has that thought, or you have that thought, or, it's crazy what the mind is, or what comes to mind. And it begs the question of, is it scientific or is it spiritual? And, that's the biggest question right now. To myself, it's still very unknown what a mind is. We can chalk it up to the brain, and just the brain being so powerful. But you can split the brain in half and still have thoughts and ideas. So I think it's something more than just the brain and the body of flesh. Because if you take a brain out, is that brain still able to Because as a system, as organism, if you take a brain out, is that brain still able to think on its own? Or does a brain have to be together with a body to be able to form and formulate ideas, thoughts, and etc. and in consciousness? Does it all have to be, is what creates a mind the full body as one? Or is a mind something else, like a soul? Or is it something that's put into us? It's crazy idea, crazy question to offer, and we may never know until the end of time. And that's just, what comes to my mind, and I like thinking about it. It helps me continue going forward, trying to find out this question. What is the mind? Is it the soul, or is it something else? And as long as I can think scientifically about it too, it's like, okay, the brain is super powerful, right? But does the brain have to be with the body to be able to have a consciousness, to have thoughts? Can brain be, held somewhere else and still be able to function without a body or anything else? Will it still have a consciousness? Because even eyes are something that's very, very not weird to me, but just interesting, intriguing. How we can see out of these pockets of flesh. Is it because of the brain? Is it because of something else? Because if you take eyes as an eye, you can't see it. That eye does not see without being in the full system of the body, connected to a brain or so. So does everything have to be connected to be able to have a mind and consciousness? Or does it operate on its own? Or is there something else that's inside the flesh, inside the body, that allows these things to act as they do? And that's just what I've been thinking about, just what comes to mind, what is a mind and things like that. I apologize if this is just random out of nowhere. It's just, I have a lot of these things. This is what I made this channel for. This is just my journal almost of me just like, you know what? I just want to talk about this right now. Like, what is this? Let's talk about this stuff. This stuff is interesting. And I just giving my opinion on it. I don't always get into these deep conversations in real life all the time because I'm always either focused on business or something else. But these questions do come up sometimes, but I also just want to get this conversation out here. Like, I'm just talking to you like you're my friend, so it's cool. And, I appreciate it. Just leave comments below, talking, subscribe if you want to, all that good shebang. We're here for a minute. This is the next video after the last video. The last video was just an update. I have a self-retrospection video coming up as well. And then we're going to talk about end of the year retrospective, probably when I go back to my hometown in Texas. I'll probably record that, and we'll go from there. But with that, y'all, peace.